if not us, who, and if not now, when. It's simply not okay that Michael Brown met the fate that he did, and we have to recognize that there are young people of all colors, but especially brown and black young folks that are meeting that same fate every single day, and we have to promise them a different future. Ferguson is about 15 minutes from where I grew up and where I still live in North County, St. Louis. And it is a neighborhood very much like mine, where families, many African-American families, saw these counties, these suburban areas as a way out, right? As an escape from some of the ills that were coming to be true in urban areas, an opportunity for better housing, better employment, better education. But what continued to happen is that resources left those areas that our families were moving into. And so there are lots of young people like Mike Brown doing what they need to do every single day to be their best selves. And I think what was hard for me was that Michael Brown went to a school where we place teachers, and he did all of the things that we tell him to do. He graduated, he enrolled in higher education. Was he perfect? No. But was he a kid? Yes. And nothing that he did deserved a death sentence. And so I found myself frustrated because I keep pushing kids toward a diploma, and yet those diplomas aren't bulletproof. So I found myself on August 9th in Kansas City learning about what was happening at home, on August 10th driving back earlier than planned, and standing in the street with protesters and members of the community, grandmothers, children, people who simply wanted to come outside and demand answers, not because an organization told them to do it, but because it was the right thing to do, and we had to finally stand up and say no more. And so given my policy background, given my engagement in the protests, given a lot of our proximity to what has been happening on the ground, a number of us came together to say, how do we help translate what the people demand into real policy change? Now, it's important to remember that policy and protests continue to go together. So we've written policy, we've taken policy from experts and added community voice to it. We've lobbied for those policies at the local, state, and national level. And yet when we are done with that, we still find ourselves right on the protest line, which means a lot of danger. It has meant tear gas. It has meant pepper spray. It means that I don't necessarily feel safe walking around at home, as do lots of the folks that have been involved in this movement. The work is not done. Just because there's a report or a task force or another committee doesn't mean that we're all safe to yet walk the streets. I think the killings of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile showed us that, and I found myself in Baton Rouge with DeRay McKesson and Janetta Elzie, who are also co-founders of Campaign Zero, protesting those slayings. And so the work continues. We're very, very clear, and we need everyone with all of their multiple talents to help us accomplish this.